became the president of the World Federation, I studied at the University of Bologna, which, by the way, is the oldest in the world. One third of the trainees in neurosurgery in my country will leave after 1 year. With patience and collaboration with other neurosurgeons like Tariq and like many others all around the world, in about a year, the problems were solved.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we have Dr. Sarvade, a well-known neurosurgeon in Humanitas University, Italy. Dr. Sarvade, you have had a distinguished career in neurosurgery and have held pivotal positions such as the president of the World Federation of Neurosurgical Society. Could you share with us what inspired you to pursue this field?
Like in many occasions in the life, it was the case. I studied at the University of Bologna, which, by the way, is the oldest in the world. It was founded 1088. It's the oldest still operating. And during my study at the 5th year, like many of you students, I wanted to work and do a thesis. In Italy, when you graduate, you need to produce a thesis, which then you try to publish. And I went to orthopedic surgery. In Bologna, there is a huge orthopedic hospital, the biggest in Italy, which is called Rizzoli. It's 200 years old. And I went there. And I was assisting operation for orthopedic surgery. But the field, the operating field, was very big with a lot of blood, and so I thought, I don't like it. I want to do surgery in a smaller field, more clean. So during my stay at the Rizzoli Institute, one neurosurgeon came to do a spine surgery, spine tumor surgery at that institute. I saw him and we got friends, and I saw that they were operating with a microscope already. They were doing very small, clean field. I thought, this is my way.
This is your field.
I moved from there to the
From orthopedic to neurosurgery.
From orthopedic to neurosurgery.
And sir, how much time you spend in orthopedic surgery?
Only 3 months.
Okay, 3 months. Perfect. Sir, you serve as a president of World Federation Neurosurgical Society and chair various committees, including the Neurotrauma Committee. How did these leadership roles influence your perspective on global neurosurgical education?
Well, when I became the president of the World Federation, the interest was linked to the presidents, not to the needs. Meaning, if the president was interested in the endoscopic surgery, all the endoscopic surgery became the first topic of his presidency. When I came, I thought we may work on what is needed all around the world. Even if I was already publishing in trauma, but what we saw that the need was for trauma, both spine and brain, and for neurosurgical pediatrics approach, like hydrocephalus, spina bifida, as you have seen today, and many others. So, and we focus on these three, pediatric neurosurgery, trauma, and tumors. This was my focus. Even if before becoming president, I've been already the chair of the Neurotrauma Committee. And when I became the president, I made the chair of the Neurotrauma Tariq Khan, who is the boss here at the Northwest.
Exactly. I call him a G.
Yeah.
Okay. Sir, you travel and work across the globe from the UK to Taiwan and Argentina. What do you believe needs to change in order to improve access to neurosurgical care?
There are 3 or 4 issues. One issue is the resources, obviously. There are countries where they cannot even afford a microscope.
Exactly.
Many countries in are operating still now without microscopes. Some of them with loops, some even without. Then what we think it's simple CT scan, which for us is nothing. We have thousands of NMR, so you can imagine the CT scan, but also for some country it's still something they should acquire. And then there is the issue of the payments. Very often they have a CT scan, but people cannot afford it.
Exactly.
And this it's an issue. And the other issue, there are three issues. The other one is education. How do we plan the education of neurosurgeon, and how do we plan the surgical education of students? You have seen my presentation the other day. How can augmented reality, simulation, and artificial intelligence can help us to work? And
exactly.
I think we have to look at the future. And the third issue is collaboration between countries with more and countries with less.
Exactly. So throughout your career, you must face numerous challenges. Could you share a particularly difficult moment in your life?
A particular?
Yes, a particular difficult moment in your journey.
Yes. When I took over the World Federation, I was not prepared because I was a candidate from the floor, and the other candidate, we arrived at the end of the nomination in two people. So, and I was not prepared, and I have faced many difficulties. But with patience and collaboration with other neurosurgeons like Tariq and like many other all around the world, in about a year the problems were solved.
Exactly. Sir, you mentored numerous students and professionals over the years. What do you believe is the most important lesson you try to impart to the next generation?
Well, the first issue is neurosurgery is difficult and requires a clear life approach, which is not for everyone. It doesn't really matter you are a man, you are a woman, it's the same. You must be highly motivated. Neurosurgery per se is difficult. And you should not be someone who, if I give you an example, 1/3 of the trainees in neurosurgery in my country will leave after 1 year and move to another specialty. 1/3.
Oh.
In other countries even more, because people is coming but they don't know what neurosurgery means, what means waking up in the night, what means learning surgical approaches in the night. And I believe that this is mostly important. If you are a student, I don't think only about neurosurgery. If you want to do a surgical specialty, you have to know what are you going to meet.
Exactly.
And which difficulties. I repeat, it doesn't matter. You are a man, you are a woman. We have highly motivated women colleagues who are doing a fantastic career.
Job in neurosurgery.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
This year, for the first year in Italy, women were more than men in applications. So this is
Wonderful, sir. Sir, with your extensive experience in both academia and clinical practice, what do you see as the most pressing issue facing neurosurgery today?
Well, as I told you in the presentation, in some areas of the world like Europe or US, we have enough neurosurgeons, but the number of cases in many centers is too limited for training. We don't have enough training cases. In other parts of the world, there are too many cases and too few neurosurgeons. I think for education and for students also, not only for surgeons, exchange is now the way. Change. You spend some time with us and
Exactly.
students or trainees will spend some time with you. It's a double enrichment.
Exactly, and it's a perfect way to reach to everybody. Wonderful. Sir, looking back at your remarkable career, is there anything you wish you had done differently, and what advice would you give to someone starting out in neurosurgery today?
Well, as I told you, enthusiasm and knowing what you are going to do. That's the most important. So you attend the neurosurgical ward, you attend the life. You don't need even to go to neurosurgery. There are 4 films you can see in the web. And I can tell you the students to look at them if they are in. One is called Concussion. The second one is Gifted Hands, about the guy who was operating and separating the twins. And the third one is Dr. Q, is the history of Dr. Quinones. These 3 films and 1 book, which is from Harry Marsh, a British neurosurgeon, and the book is called Primum non nocere, First Do Not Harm. These are essential. You read these, you see these 3 films that you find in Netflix everywhere, and you read that books, then you understand the life of the neurosurgeons.
So before joining the neurosurgery residency or anything, you should read that book in order to understand.
Look at the films, and so you see the life. Well, actually, in the films, it's much Americanized because the films are American, but the book is British, and the book is very similar to us. So, but you can have an idea of what you need when you are a neuro. So we have an Erasmus program in Europe for training students with interest in neurosurgery. Before they come, they have to read the books and see the film.
That's a perfect idea, sir. The last question, what is the advice that you want to give to me?
To you?
Yes.
Well, you have to finish your study, to go and see 2 or 3 areas of interest. 1 is not enough. Have a look at the anatomy, because anatomy and physiology are important for deciding what you want to do. And speak with someone who has done this decision recently, let's say a resident at the first or second year, and ask them, because they already have encountered the difficulties. I don't believe that skill is something that you have from when you are born. I think skill you can learn.
You can acquire.
Unless you are those 5% who cannot learn. There is a 5% of people who will never learn how to do skillness, and these are not surgeons. And there is a 5% of people who learn very quickly. But 90% will need only to application, to do every day, to repeat, and then they learn.
Okay, wonderful, sir. Thank you so much, sir. It was such a pleasure. We talked. It was lovely talking. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.